Hey there, Pandamanana. This is Highlander here. I left a comment on one of your videos that kind of got me thinking a bit, and I thought, screw it. Why don't I take a leaf out of your book and do some walking and videoing and stuff like that? Give you a bit of a video response. So I left a comment on your video about MMOs and about, what makes a successful MMO and stuff like that. And I thought you had a good point, just because a game didn't kill a revolutionary game in a genre doesn't mean that it's, no good in its own right as a game. I think people are really unfair on MMOs as well, what is, 1 million subscribers or something like that. Well, it really sort of depends on how loyal those people are and how much they're paying. Because if a game sells, 5 million copies, people don't generally call it rubbish, And if you've got a game with 1 million subscribers, you need those subscribers to probably hang around for 2-3 months. Maybe the first couple of months is about the equivalent of the sale price if you got a, single purchase title. Maybe the third month can be kind of the equivalent of covering, all the other costs that are involved. Because, MMOs are more expensive to run. You got to host servers. You got to make new content every once in a while. All that junk. So if you consider that every 3 months is kind of like the equivalent of a subscription, it's kind of the equivalent to a new sale, then if you hold 1 million subs for 3/4 of a year, then, that's essentially 3 million sales. That's not a trash game by any means, So I think people are a bit hard on MMOs, kind of the same way that they're hard on games just from the big development houses. They've got expectations and, they're wanting something new. I think part of the grief at the moment is due to a lot of ex-WoW players just, they're a bit fed up with WoW. Fair enough, It's been the market leader for so long, they want an alternative. So I think that's what's driving a bit of angst there. But I did address in my comments that one of your things that you mentioned was that no other game's going to hit 12 million subscribers like that again. And, people can't expect to see it to happen. Well, I think that's a little short-sighted, and I think that's a little short-sighted on 3 fronts. One, you never know where gaming's going to go. I remember free-to-play being like a dirty word in gaming, Something's free-to-play game, well, that's going to be rubbish, Why would you be interested in that? But it's not a dirty word anymore, and who knows? Who knows where things are going there? And, MMOs or other type of subscription games, you don't know what's going to happen. 2, I think you've just got to remember that China's on the rise. If you've got, people becoming increasingly affluent in China, you can get yourself to a situation, where the situation can get to a point where 2% of those people are, actively gaming at any one time. If you're the go-to game in China, then you've got your 12 million subscribers easy there. So, there's something for you to keep in mind. And of course, if something's the go-to game in China, it's probably being subscribed to at least by a few other people somewhere else. So, I think that's worth bearing in mind. And thirdly, just in terms of WoW, well, WoW had 12 million subscribers concurrently at one point. That means that it's introduced a whole lot more people to subscription-based gaming and the MMO scene generally. So people that never touched the MMOs that came before WoW, well, they got a taste for it. They've tried it out. They've paid us for a subscription service, and that's something that they wouldn't have, or may not have done for some time, may never have done if it weren't for WoW. So I think WoW's done the genre just an immense service, and I think that you need to take into account that there's probably a lot more than 12 million people that actually were into WoW at some point. And WoW's got such a long history. If something's got 1 million subscribers in its first few months, that doesn't mean that's where it's going to stay. Now, sure, these things generally taper off over time, but it could well be that, game releases or version release number 1, 1 million subscribers. Version release number 2, they pull out the sequel and they learn from their mistakes and they get a lot more. You don't know how that's going to happen. And I definitely think that there's that many people out there that are willing to give it a shot and are willing to pay for a subscription type service. And that's pretty much all I had to say. But look, thanks very much for your video. Do enjoy your work. I do find it very, very thought-provoking. And otherwise, my name's Highlander, and best of luck.